Two friends graduate from college the same year, same degree, same salary, same city. 40 years later, one of them retires with more than $2 million. The other one barely manages to retire at all. And here's the crazy part. They both earned similar salaries. They both worked for over 40 years. They both saved money. So what happened? How can two people start in the exact same place and end up in completely different financial lives? The answer comes down to one decision: when they started investing. Welcome to Bad Advice Finance, the show where we explore the worst financial advice people follow and the real lessons behind it. Today's bad advice: you can start investing later. It sounds harmless. In fact, it sounds logical. But following this advice might cost people hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars over a lifetime. Let's go back to our two friends. We'll call them Alex and Jordan. They both graduate at 25 years old. Both land their first job making around $70,000 a year. Life feels full of possibilities. At that age, retirement is the last thing on their minds. They're thinking about travel, cars, apartments, experiences. The future feels incredibly far away. And that's exactly why the advice Alex receives sounds so reasonable. He hears something many young professionals hear. Focus on building your career first. You can start investing later. And Alex believes it. After all, what difference could 10 years possibly make? Jordan thinks a little differently. He decides to start investing immediately. Nothing fancy. No complicated strategies, just a simple index fund that tracks the overall stock market. He commits to investing $700 a month. That's it. Meanwhile, Alex focuses on enjoying his 20s, a nicer apartment, a newer car, more travel. He tells himself something very common: I'll start investing when I make more money. And for a while, that decision seems completely harmless. 10 years pass. Alex is now 35 years old. His career's going well. He's earning more money than before. And now he finally decides it's time to start investing. He begins investing the same amount as Jordan, $700 a month. Same strategy, same type of investment, same expected return. Everything is now identical. Except for one thing: Jordan started 10 years earlier. And at this point, that difference still doesn't seem dramatic, but that's about to change. Because investing has a strange characteristic. In the early years, the progress feels slow. Money grows gradually, almost quietly, but over time, something powerful begins to happen. The returns begin generating their own returns. Growth starts building on top of previous growth, and eventually, the investment begins to grow faster than the money being added. This is the moment when compound interest begins to take over. And this is where the real story begins. Let's look at what happens over the long run. Jordan starts investing at 25 years old. He invests $700 per month. Assume a long-term market return of about 8% per year. By the time he turns 65, his portfolio grows to roughly $2.1 million. Right? $2.1 million. Now let's look at Alex. Alex does everything the same. Same monthly investment, same strategy, same return. The only difference is that he starts at 35 instead of 25. At age 65, Alex ends up with about $850,000. That's still a lot of money. But look at the difference. Jordan has more than $2 million. Alex has less than half of that. The only difference was 10 years. 10 years earlier, or 10 years later. What makes this surprising is that Alex actually earned slightly more money during many years of his career. He worked hard, he saved, he invested responsibly once he started, but he lost something incredibly valuable: time. And in investing, time is the most powerful asset you can possibly have, because compound growth doesn't behave in a straight line. It behaves like an explosion, slow at first, then, suddenly, dramatic. And those early years that seem insignificant turn out to be the most valuable years of all. The biggest advantage in investing isn't intelligence. It isn't predicting the market. It isn't finding the next big stock. The biggest advantage is simply starting early. Because the earlier you start, the longer compound interest has to work. And time is the one thing money can never buy back. So here's a question. If you could go back to your 25-year-old self, what financial decision would you change? Would you start investing earlier? Let me know in the comments. And remember, just because everyone says you can start later, doesn't mean you should.